How have you been doing?
I've been doing okay. I've been drinking a lot of honey in my leaf water, you know, just so that
Yeah, you sound slightly sick and low energy.
it is more that yeah, I yelled a lot over the past week. So
Gotcha.
yeah, it is throat go bye-bye. All right, I'm gonna click this go live button and then
Okay, you click that go live
I
button
did.
if you so
I
wish.
did. I did.
Oh, you
I
did.
did. I did do it. And then I went over here and I got this for you. It's that.
Oh,
There you go.
you spoil me.
And then I go over to the Discord and I click this button twice. All right.
I
Very cool.
shift this onto a new monitor.
All right.
Let, let me get my everything set up.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I did some board games and I yelled a lot and then I was like, this is interesting. Let's go through my week like this. Uh and then I had to talk a lot at work, and so I never rested my voice. And then I played board games with people again and got really loud again. But that time I had this ingenious idea to bring my water boiler into my office and
Oh,
boil water and make tea and drink honey the entire time. So,
make make tea at your desk.
yeah,
You don't even have to get up for it.
nope. So, I did that and I'm doing it again.
All right, all right.
So, I'm gonna be boiling water right now and making some tea and making my throat maybe feel a little better, potentially. Not
All
really.
right. What kind of teas do you have?
I have just some Earl Grey, and I have for when I want to not overload my heart with caffeine, uh some chamomile.
Nice, dude.
Yes.
I'm pretty chamomile pilled.
That's fair. Chamomile's good. It's just it makes me sleepy, so I don't want to drink it too much, you know?
That's fair.
Um
Um, are you a loose leaf or a bagged tea
I
or
only
a
have
tea of any
bags
kind?
until I can get some loose leaf. It hasn't been a high priority because of other things, but
Okay.
at some point I'm gonna get loose leaf. Yeah.
I would encourage you to like if you are going to drink tea regularly,
Mm.
um, go loose leaf. Like I once I went loose leaf, I never went back.
Mm. Mm.
Um, I can also I think we've talked about tea
I
infusers
think
before.
so. Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah. I'll find a really good tea infuser.
Hmm.
I have like two that I have. I just need to find the brand name so I can find the product.
Hmm.
I will be back momentarily.
Okay. Hello, Draco Kraken. Hello, Timothy. Um, tea and coffee for the win. Agreed. Agreed. Yeah. I need to make it so that my throat doesn't give out. So it will be covered in bee vomit all night, hopefully. And also I'm gonna both need to go and use the restroom and have pseudo energy. So that's exciting. I just dropped all of my tea. No, it was the empty box. We're good. I haven't really given myself a break to stop talking for a long time, which would help the process. I'm just kind of rolling with the throw honey at the problem and hope that it works. Hope that it's sticky enough. Um, and I haven't been drinking a lot of tea with honey for a while. I went out and bought a couple of uh a couple of things of honey. So, you know, just so that I would have enough to like constantly guzzle it for a little while. It's great.
I am back.
Welcome
Hello,
back.
everyone. Hello, Draco Kraken. Hello, Teardrop Timothy.
There you go.
Uh,
Come on me as I pour hot water really close to my bare leg. Yay. There we go. Okay. Steady as she goes, Captain. Indeed. So hello everybody and welcome back to Table Talk Discussion and Discourse. I, as always, am your host, Alejo, aka Grade on 95.
I, as usually, am your second host, Captain Chiral. Is Boo coming?
He will be here a little late because he gets off at 9, so he'll be probably a good 20 minutes or so.
All right.
So we shall begin without. But yeah, so that it serves as a perfect way for saying that my throat's gonna be a little weird tonight, so apologies. Also, I've changed up the profiles on the actual podcast so that we're using the ones that we use for Vampire now, so that it does the whole light up thing and everything like this, and I can just go and look at Discord half the time, and if something ever comes up, and it won't just cut away from our faces when we're talking about stuff. So, you know, what, 5 years in, did it finally.
We got there in the end.
We did. And I say we do this for the vampire campaign when that hasn't even released for the general public yet. It's only been for our table flippers. So go and become one of those through Patreon or Ko-fi if you want to, and you can see that stuff early. But yeah. New profiles rule. Thank you. So excuse me. So, today we're going to be talking about ammunition.
Oh, good. We were talking about this one. Good.
Yes. Oh, okay. Thank you for the link. I will definitely go for that at some point. But yes, so we've all talked about we have actually talked about ammo once before, when we were talking about ammunition and some of the other optional rules like encumbrance and such. So we have talked about it before, but I think going into an in-depth kind of conversation about ammunition is probably for the best. Plus, we have a few videos here tonight about one being the actual official rules that are in D&D. That's only about 8 minutes from Nerd Immersion, so that we can see the actual in-game rules that are there for, I think they are optional, but I'm not entirely sure, so that we can know where 5e stood, and then we can look at, there's a video that Boo linked to us from Seth Skorkowski about different ways to do ammunition keeping. So seeing it from Seth is probably a good call to like say, oh, look, these are fun ways to do it, because he's pretty good at that.
Yeah. Should we share opinions on ammunition keeping before we start the video?
I was going to ask, what are your thoughts on ammunition?
So in my campaigns, I like to have a big focus on different kinds of ammunition. As such, I say, hey, you know what? If you will just like cough up, like during early game usually, cough up the cost to buy 30 arrows or whatever the fuck, and we will hand wave it and essentially treat it as if you have unlimited basic arrows.
Right, yeah.
If you want specialty stuff like, explosion and a 5-foot radius, a 10-foot radius, or whatever, ammunition that does extra damage to monsters of different types, like the infamous Dragon Slayer arrow,
yes,
for example.
Yep.
Or arrows that do bleed damage, or snares, or stuff like that. Yep. Keep track of those. And then I just generally trust my players, because I don't want to like have to do the mental hassle of tracking their ammunition for them.
Exactly.
Most of the players that I've had the luck to be playing D&D with are all fairly honest.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if someone's like, oh, I'm going to shoot off another Dragon Slayer arrow, I'd be like, hey, that's your 20th Dragon Slayer arrow in a row. Like, what's up? Show me your character sheet.
Right.
Like, I've never had that happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for me, the having ammunition. So in past games that I've been a part of and that I have run, ammunition hasn't been too much of an issue. It's never really been a hampering. It's never really been something that anybody's kept track of, unless it has been special. Um, as you said, something like a Dragon Slayer error or something like that. Um, because that stuff is actually rather important to keep track of because it is additional. You know, it isn't just the run of the mill shit that you're gonna find when you go into town. Um, the you've got some people that say that keeping track of that is just an annoyance, which I don't think it is. I think it's just if you just have a flat cost of when you visit town, you spend like 5 silver and you have like all the arrows that you need or whatever the fuck, like you're fine.
Yeah.
It's nothing but a small percentage of your massive gains that you get in in 5e specifically. In any D&D edition, to be fair.
Mm.
I think I haven't played a game where ammunition's been scarce enough for it to really matter. It would be interesting to play something like that. Something post-apocalyptic, probably.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I think that I also think that there's something to be said about doing that kind of realism feel of okay, you got to go in and you buy like 30 arrows, like okay, cool, we spend that out and then you keep track of your 30 arrows. I think that is cool and it's an appealing concept, but I also agree that it can bog it down quite a bit.
Yeah.
Cuz like
Uh,
the one example that I can give is I remember there being at some point somebody was asking about when they were shooting off arrows and then after the battle happened they were like, okay, can I retrieve any of these? And then you had to like the DM had to go, ooh, some of them probably split, some of them didn't, like they had to figure out exactly what they wanted to do for their arrow rule, but that was like the
mhm.
only hiccup. um and then it was like, okay, then we have that established, right?
Yeah. I also really quick just wanted to give a few quick
Yeah, yeah,
interjections.
yeah.
Couple things I forgot to mention with my point. Um, some of the reason why I may like occasionally check in with my players and say, "Hey, give me a character sheet real quick. I need to know how many Dragon Slayer arrows you have."
Right.
For no reason in particular.
Yes.
Um, I'll occasionally check in with my players because ammunition, like specialty ammunition, is generally in my campaigns pretty good.
Yeah.
So it is important enough that I balance encounters around it. If we have, for instance, a like archer who is actively shooting arrows, I'll say, hey, like, oh, they have the resource of 10 of these kinds of arrows, and these arrows are problem solver arrows.
Right. Yeah.
Um, I'll maybe balance around that, but like generally, I don't worry too badly about it. Secondly,
Hmm.
um, I really like with the whole specialty arrow thing. I view it as similar to ammunition in Monster Hunter.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, so you have like piercing or
Yeah.
fire or certain kinds of arrows may get certain bonuses if fired from different kinds of bows.
Yep.
Um, And my final thing was just to sort of piggyback off of your point that you mentioned
Mm.
of like tracking down encumbrance may bog down play.
Mm.
Um, Bogging down play may not be an issue for people like us,
Exactly.
who finish a campaign once per 4 years.
Yes.
Um,
It's true.
and everyone just kind of goes, okay, yeah, no, like, let's actually sit back and roll percentages to see
Yeah.
if Brogan's arrows split. Let's find out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, definitely not recommended for your typical table.
Yeah, not usually. Not usually. Couple of things here. I don't know anyone who keeps track of ammo that is not special ammo. That's fair. Sidebar for Aiden, is there any Poke tubers that annoy you like certain D&D tubers? I ask Aiden because he has the living dex because being an ace trainer. True.
Yes, there is one, and he kind of annoys me. I have to find him real quick.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't annoy me for any real reason. I just don't like his voice.
Oh, yeah, fair.
Fair. Favorite PokeTuber though would be without a doubt Small Ant.
Small Ant is cool. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
While you're looking for that,
Yeah.
hello, Shin. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, blood for the blood god. Indeed. And yes, Draco Kraken, that is a good point. I do remember ammo being a concern in Delta Green, but that's a much different tone than D&D. Yes, you're right. When I do run Delta Green stuff, that ammo is a concern because it does add to the tone, like a lot. In certain instances, you know, having like one magazine left or one clip or one, you know, handful of bullets for your revolver, like that can really change the feel of an encounter in Delta Green. It can change the feel in any game, obviously, when you have less of your ammunition, right? But for Delta Green specifically, that is something that can help with ramping up tension. So if you want to do that for any other games that aren't necessarily a horror kind of game, keeping track of ammunition could do that for you, or at least help with it. Hello, Entropy. Arrows shouldn't break. They're not bullets. I would understand losing their enchantment after the first time you use them, but arrows don't break that easily. Well, that's true.
If they don't collide with anything hard.
Yes, if they don't collide with armor, then obviously they, you know, they would break if you have sufficient force behind it when it actually hits a metal object, probably. At least make it so that the tip itself might be blunted of some kind. You know, you'd have to repair it.
Yeah.
Hello, Veridi. Okay. Have you found your person?
No, I have not.
Okay.
But I do want to also mention I do enjoy Wolf Glick and Austin John.
There you go.
Although Austin John is less into Pokemon specifically, but I only ever check out his Pokemon content.
That's fair. Well, okay.
And the guy who posts Pokemon Showdown clips. I forget his name too.
Oh, yeah, I remember you guys talking about that. Yeah. Okay.
He's got some good teams.
Yeah. There's a Pokemon video in the recommended video line that is where I got the question from. Oh yeah, fair enough.
Fair enough.
So, shall we begin? So this is Nerd Immersion. If you don't know Nerd Immersion, it's a more informative kind of channel for a lot of D&D stuff.
Hey folks.
Very loud on my end. Jesus. So Nerd Immersion does a lot of breakdowns of the mechanical aspects and such, as far as I've seen. You can find a lot of good information through Nerd Immersion on D&D stuff. And it is all stuff that is straight out of books. So, I think there's a couple of opinion pieces that are in there as well, but I've not looked too hard because I don't really pay attention to Nerd Immersion too much, to be fair, and I don't really see the need to much in a lot of cases. But this case, I think having somebody who has at least looked into the 5e Player's Handbook in a more recent tone or time, when this video was released, and actually has that rule down, would be beneficial, so that we can at least have the standing of what does 5e want you to do if you do want to keep track of ammunition in general. This video is called, it's interesting it's not showing up on the screen, but this is called Recovering Arrow/Ammunition in D&D 5e Nerd Immersion by Nerd Immersion. So, D&D apparently, 5e specifically has a recovery mechanic, which is interesting. I don't remember this. I don't remember reading this, but then again, the weapons pages, I just kind of like looked through for a second and then went, I get it, because there wasn't a lot there for me to, you know, look at that I didn't understand when I looked at it. But apparently there's a rule in there, so maybe there could be a percentile roll to see if they break or get dull, but Google will tell you it's rare. Okay.
Yeah, I would personally, like, arrows aren't like too incredibly likely to actually like break. They're more likely to be like, yeah, as you mentioned, get blunted.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have a rule of like, you have a 10% chance that they get blunted, and if you have someone in the party who can like do small metal work,
yeah,
you can absolutely fix that. And then you can also have a 5% chance that they break.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can very easily roll that because it's a 10% and a 5%. You can easily roll that on 80/20.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. All right. So this one's only 9 minutes. We'll see how it goes.
Hey folks, Ted from Nerd Immersion here, and I wanted to do as I do and talk about some lesser known rules in 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons.
I really like the floor pumpkin.
Oh! Somehow I missed that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was just drawn to the lime green D20, and then I was just looking over there.
I was looking at that too, and I was like, "Oh, he's got a D20. Oh, he's got a bunch of Gokus,
yeah.
arcade cabinet, and a square-looking pumpkin."
Yeah, exactly.
This is a rule, or I guess technically it's 2 rules that you probably or may have never seen, and possibly have never used depending on how you run your game. And one of them kind of makes sense, and the other one was news to me when I was just doing a read-through of the player's handbook. As I have, when I have spare time, this is what I spend it doing, reading through D&D source books and being like, huh, that's interesting. Did you know about this? And then I make a video on it. I actually made this video years ago, but the channel has grown so much and it's buried through hundreds of videos that you probably haven't seen it. So I thought I'd talk on it. And that is the concept.
I want to say that I did find that video as well. It was like 5 minutes long. And I went, okay. But this one was a more recent one, so it probably has better quality in production. So we'll go from this. More recent information, you know?
Oh, the D20 changes colors.
Oh, it does. Okay. Gotcha.
Right. Of using an ammunition-based weapon as a weapon rather than like shooting, like having a bow and hitting someone with the bow rather than shooting an arrow off of it. And then also recovering your lost ammunition after you shot it. Or maybe it's not even lost, maybe it's just out there and you want to get it back. So this is actually contained in the equipment section of the player's handbook. And if we jump right here, you can see under...
I will say as well, something that I absolutely always love is sources.
Right.
And he does do this, and this is from D&D Beyond, so they're sourcing from the actual rule books themselves, and you know, it's all Wizards of the Coast owned stuff, so it's all something you can trust at least. So it's nice. Also, sorry, not to go too off topic, but I saw when I was looking today, when I was looking at a bunch of stuff on our recommended and everything, because when I log into YouTube for our account here, I see a bunch of stuff. I saw something about like a D&D Beyond scandal or something. Does anybody Does anybody know about that?
Oh, I know about it.
Okay, what's going on?
They are updating spells for D&D 5.5 on D&D Beyond.
Yep.
And just deleting what the original like spell description was in 5e. So you will no longer have like basic ass 5e spell descriptions on D&D Beyond.
Oh, okay. I see. Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like D&D Beyond sucks.
Yeah.
And people kind of, I thought, widely knew this, and then I saw everyone on Reddit having a meltdown, and I was like, holy shit. Apparently not.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is why you get physical books, or you get a PDF that you can download. But D&D doesn't do that.
Dude, okay. I saw people arguing just get physical books, and then the counter argument was, but I don't want to have to read it. And I was like, what? Motherfucker, you're reading it if it's on a VTT.
Oh my god. That's amazing.
Expecting people to have books in front of them when they're playing an online game is unrealistic, and I'm like, are we in a world where desks don't exist?
Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry. Okay. Oh, they backed down on doing that because of the backlash, but they tried it. Oh, did they back down? Okay.
Yeah, well,
there's something.
Very typical of WotC. Try something shitty, people yell at them, and then you back down.
Yeah.
And then you try something new like 3 months later.
Exactly. I was gonna say. They don't learn, they just try to do it again.
Yeah, occasionally mix it up with a few Pinkertons.
It is true. It is true.
Like the person who they put in charge of D&D Beyond was in charge of I think it was he did previous work on World of Warcraft. And he was like, my new mission for D&D Beyond is monetizing it. Like, very specifically, he said that his mission will be making money off of it.
Doesn't it already do that?
Oh, no. He wants to do it more.
Oh, okay. Yeah, great. Yeah. Well, I mean...
so that's why all of these, like, super user-unfriendly practices are coming straight down from the top.
Okay, yeah. Right.
And the moment that fans don't rebuff something immediately with a shit ton of backlash, it'll just become permanent, and that'll be how it is now.
Awesome.
This is why I decry D&D Beyond. Don't fucking use it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure. And if you're gonna use it, only use the free stuff. Hello.
Yes, absolutely. Hello, Boo. We're shit talking D&D Beyond.
We are.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. So I don't know if you know about the new D&D Beyond shit that they tried pulling.
Oh no! What have they done?
Well, it has been Aiden. Why don't you give it away again?
Yeah,
I'll let you.
So, D&D 5.5 has, as you know, different spell descriptions for its spells.
Okay.
D&D Beyond is removing the 5e descriptions of spells from
oh god.
Yeah. They're removing the 5e descriptions in favor of the 5.5e. So, if your sole resource is D&D Beyond, you will lose your spell descriptions.
Yep.
That's fucked. Why?
It's almost like D&D Beyond fucking sucks. And as for why, Boo, so they can make more money, because they sell D&D 5e in a module.
Oh, what? Yeah. Wait, really?
I believe you will have to rebuy your 5e spells.
Well, great. I mean, to be fair, Shin did say that they backed down a bit. So, however much they've backed down, I hope that they don't do that.
It is hilarious to me how many fuck ups you can have and you still try to do scummy shit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't get it.
Companies, major companies that can just get away with it and spend money when they want to, and all that.
It's spells and magic items.
Oh.
Well, I mean, okay. At least for the magic items, you're probably going to be getting more content, maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? They probably won't. But there's a chance. The spells, fuck you. Magic items, maybe.
Yeah.
I will also say I heard, according to Reddit, there is a way for people to go in and make like, oh, I have a custom spell, and they could just copy paste the spells over that they have currently.
Honestly, someone will probably do that.
Yeah, they did that before.
They would have to go through though and do that for their entire 5e spell list.
Right, which would be shit.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Also, I would like to tell you both that I'm going to be playing Dread Delusion the entire time, and you can't stop me.
Wasn't going to.
Okay.
Very good. Continue.
Didn't even need to be mentioned.
Have you already watched the Seth video or no?
No, we haven't even gotten through this first one, so you're good.
Oh, I know. I figured. Oh, yeah, no, it's 9. What am I talking about?
Yeah. We're starting
that fast.
We're starting with We're starting with a one that's about some rules that aren't like people don't necessarily know about in actual 5e first, just that are to do with ammunition, so we can have a baseline here. But let's see. Timothy says hi, boo.
Hello.
Yeah. I don't want to buy their stupidly priced books. I'll wait to roam the seas. Indeed.
Yeah, dude.
Wait, they don't want to read something they need to read? What the fuck? Yes, that was the other thing Aiden mentioned. On Reddit, apparently people were saying, well, you could just buy the physical books, that way you don't have things just change in front of you. Like on the D&D Beyond site. And then people were saying, no, I don't want to have to read the books.
That's hilarious.
Yes, exactly. Let's see. People have certain things they do because it's what they do, not because it's a smart thing to do. It's true.
Okay.
I'll also mention they made stores take 3.5 off their shelves right after they released 4E, so they haven't really changed since even way back then. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. It's good. It's practices that have always been there. It's just something that that kind of stuff I could understand as a business decision, because they aren't necessarily making the profits from 3.5 at that point. Necessarily. I mean, yeah, the inventory is still there that they would get the residuals from being sold in the store, but they want to push that new product, It's probably what they did for 4 to 5 as well, which they should have smartly, because people didn't want to buy 4 at the time. Smartly from a business decision standpoint, but not just from a 4E point, because no.
Yeah.
But yeah, so hey, WotC will be WotC.
Yep.
We'll see. Anyway, let's continue.
Ammunition. This is probably a section that for most people you sort of come to this spot where you look at the table that tells you the name of the weapon, the damage it does, how much it costs, and any funky properties it has. And you might have read what the ammunition property does on something when it first came out, or you first looked at it, and then you just sort of put it to the side because it didn't matter. And then this is probably what you read. You can use a weapon that has ammunition property to make a ranged attack only if you have the ammunition to fire from it. And each time you attack with the weapon, you expend 1 piece of ammunition. Right? That's probably where you stopped. Or maybe even the next line, drawing the ammunition from a quiver, case, or other container is part of the attack. Meaning you don't need to do something ahead of time. You can do a very fluid, pull the arrow from the quiver on your back and string it and shoot, right? And that's pretty standard stuff. As someone who's an archer, you could do that relatively quickly, especially if this is something you do repeatedly and you have your quiver set in such a way, at such an angle, and your arrows at such a length. You could do this relatively quickly and pull that off, with some modicum of accuracy over time. But the next line is the one that I often forget about, or probably most people don't know about. And if you don't keep track of ammunition, it's probably never come up for you at all. But at the end of the battle, you can recover half your expended ammunition by taking a minute to search the battlefield.
Half of infinite ammunition?
Oh my god.
No.
That's infinite money!
That's
Blacksmiths hate this trick.
God damn it.
Yeah, okay. That's interesting. So obviously it is one of those things that nobody reads because, you know, that's not information that you necessarily need to go for, but it is nice to have as if you are keeping track of ammunition, right?
You know what I just realized? I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but imagine running a Call of Cthulhu scenario set in modern day where just nobody, like, oh, you found a fucking weird, scary old tome? Fuck, I ain't reading that. Not because it's scary, I just want to fucking read.
Dude, that would be great. No, that would be super great.
It's like, dude, you found the Necronomicon. I don't want to read it. Not, oh, I don't want to read that.
Yeah.
Ugh, I don't want to read.
Yeah,
you know? Stupid. Anyway.
But yeah, so it takes a minute to search the battlefield is fine.
Sorry, Alejo. I just wanted to mention Taboo. I've been told, like, oh, I don't read.
Yeah,
like,
I remember.
With the same energy of like, oh, I don't smoke.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that. Yeah, that's true.
It was some girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Christ.
Yes, fan sites do have the rules. Yes, there are still, like, if you go on like Wikidot or anything really that is a site that isn't the official D&D sites, they'll still have the rules for whatever you need. Don't worry about that.
Absolutely.
Of course, Wizards of the Coast.
The internet will never die until it does.
Or you can always get a digital copy of the 5e handbook legally.
Of course,
always legal if you don't get caught.
Of course,
and no one's catching, and no one's gonna catch you.
Yeah. Of course, Wizards of the Coast taking 3.5 away help Pathfinder sell more. That's also true. If you sell half your infinite ammunition for infinite money, that will cause the mass to shift from abstract to real, and the resulting black hole will swallow the world. True. But
DMs hate this one trick.
It's true. But yeah, so I feel like the taking a minute to search the battlefield is just like they put it in there for a time frame, but you just do it, you know. It doesn't need to take a minute. It's not like it really matters one way or the other, but it's interesting that you get half. I think that was just because streamlining 5e was the important thing. So instead of, oh, you know, you get a certain amount, you know, this number of plus number rolled or something like that, or you utilize a skill to get your ammunition back, like survival or something, they probably just went, no, you just get half of it back. It's fine. Which is fine, I guess. But I don't know where it goes. You know, there's nothing for me to then go, oh, but if I took 2 minutes, could I find, like, all of my ammo? Could I? But I get it for the purpose of we need to make it so that they are spending money for their ammo, right? That's really what it's there for.
What happened? Yeah. Excuse me. What happens if you have a slingshot and you fire it into a room?
Yeah.
And you only fire once.
Right.
Do you find a split ball?
My rock, it broke. No.
So no, not a rock, like a solid iron or steel
ball.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
You know, like a ball bearing.
Yeah. I gotcha. I mean, like, yeah, right? It's, would you consider it a battlefield if one shot is fired?
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
Technically speaking, you could still reuse that half of a ball bearing.
True.
No.
For a slingshot.
And if that splits in half, you can still use it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have infinite ammo with one pebble.
That's that's why slings are the best weapon in the game. Obviously, anything could be a missile technically.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. It's one of those things that if I were to implement this rule, it would be for something that's more of a survival like D&D game rather than it being a usual run of the mill one, you know? One where we would actually want to have that keeping track of things and have that ammo cost actually being deducted in a way that is more meaningful than just you go into town, you pay the 5 silver, you're good for until you get to the next town, like you're fine. Oh, excuse me, goodness. But anyway, it's like when a person won't watch subs because they don't want to read. I like both subs and dubs, but it's weird. Nah.
Yeah. Imagine having to read in a TTRPG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perish the
Disgusting.
thought. That 50% could probably include the arrows that get damaged from hitting armor. If it actually causes damage, that probably means it hit flesh, unless you're fighting a construct or something. True. I don't think the idea of tracked ammo in D&D is hampered by the inability to craft it. No. No. Yeah. Oh, I do think that. Sorry. Yeah. Well, so crafting arrows is something. I actually. Do I have Xanathars here in the shelf? I do, actually.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me go look at Xanathars, because it does have crafting in it. So I want to see if it says
Yeah.
anything about ammo.
I like crafting ammo. It allows you to do it like Monster Hunter style, where you're taking a fang off of like this or that, or maybe a poisonous claw or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, in Xanathar's Guide to Everything, crafting an item is 128, and armors, weapons, clothing, or other kinds of non-magical gear. This says, in addition to the appropriate tools for the item to be crafted, a character needs raw materials worth half of the item's selling cost to determine how many work weeks it takes to create an item. Divide its gold pieces by 50. A character can complete multiple items in a work week if the item's combined cost is 50 GP or lower. So, items that cost more than 50 GP can be completed over longer periods of time, as long as the work in progress is stored in a safe location. Multiple characters can combine their efforts, divide the time needed to create an item by the number of characters working on it. Use your judgment when determining how many characters can collaborate on an item. A particularly tiny item, like a ring, might allow only 1 or 2 workers, whereas a large, complex item might allow 4 or more workers. A character needs to be proficient with the tools needed to craft an item and have access to the appropriate equipment. Everyone who collaborates needs to have the appropriate tool proficiency. You need to make any judgment calls regarding whether a character has the correct equipment. And then you have a table for herbalism kit, leatherworkers tools, smith's tools, and weaver's tools. And then you can also craft magic items and all that. But what I would say, just given on that, if you want to just go by raw, it says multiple items in a work week if the item's combined cost is 50 GP or lower. And I think, if I recall correctly, it's really cheap to get like 20 arrows. Like, incredibly cheap. I think I have my player's handbook over there, but I'm just gonna look at the internet for this one.
Yeah. Unless there's some kind of specialty arrow, it's not like in Oblivion or Elder Scrolls where you have like arrows that are equivalent to your equipment, where you have like ebony bow,
right,
and then
right.
you've got ebony arrows or anything like that. It's just arrow.
Yeah, and they're a gold a piece. So, or a piece? Really? No, that can't be right. I just closed it immediately.
I believe it's a gold per for an amount.
Yeah.
Like you buy them in like quivers.
Yeah, I think you buy them in packs of 10, as I recall.
Okay, let me look at a site that is going to give me more detailed information. 20. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So,
That makes more sense.
yeah, exactly. So basically, you can make a shit ton of arrows if you just spent like 50 gold. You would never need to worry about your arrows for a while. You would just need to worry about where you're keeping them, which easily enough you can say, oh, I have quivers on my animal or something that I keep arrows in or whatever the fuck, you know.
Mm-hmm. I align my bedroll with them, so it's kind of like it's like really, really, really strong and uncomfortable straw bedding.
Exactly. But yes, so
alternatively, if you have a wagon, you could thatch the roof of your wagon with arrows, which would actually look super badass.
It would be kind of cool.
Be heavy as fuck.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like and obviously you can extrapolate like a work week, you can boil it down to, oh, today I can make like 20 arrows or 40 arrows or however many you want to allow for like a day's work, and that's it, you know? Like every time they're in town, you can literally just say, oh, you want to take like 4 hours and make yourself like 50 arrows? You're good. You can do that, you know? Just give me 2.5 gold. You're good. So I think it's that would be something that you could utilize to like actually say, oh, okay, we can kind of have a cost that is always going to be there for crafting these arrows, and then you still have the same type of money drain that you would be getting from having them just go and buy them themselves. It's actually cheaper for them to just make it, to be fair, I think.
As long as you have the materials.
Exactly. Which I would, materials are way cheaper technically than the finished product. So
yeah, I mean, it's more so just getting your hands on them, because you might not be in a position to, make arrowheads or find arrowheads.
That's true.
So, you might be in like a desert. There's not a whole ton of ore out in the desert.
Yeah, but you could go for arrows that are made of flint or some kind of rock, and then
True.
It should the wood and the feathers, I guess, usually, like whatever you want to use for tails, that's kind of the problem.
Yeah,
because rocks are everywhere usually.
Yeah. But can you flint nap?
Well, that's the thing. If this at least using this rule set, you would need the tools. You would need to have proficiency in the tools. So if you had that, then yes, you would be able to, right? Yeah, but I would also, if I were running it, I would go, do you have survival as a proficiency? If you do, then we can at least say that you can make some. You wouldn't be able to make as much as if you were also proficient in that that tool, but you could still make some. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Obviously, there are situations where this can't work, right? If you're flying, right, and maybe you're shooting arrows off at somebody while you're flying, and then you're not going to go back to the battlefield. But if you're like on a palisade wall or in like just the forest clearing in a dungeon, whatever, and you're shooting arrows, you may have a minute to search the battlefield to recover those. And again, in my games, more often than not, the players are like, if they're going to use a bow, they're like, I go and spend the money and I buy like 100 arrows, and I'll just re-up on arrows the next time we're in town. And that's kind of how it's always gone. But I could see this being, if your DMs or you as the DM are a stickler about ammunition management, then this could be big. Or especially if this is early on, like when you first start out and it's like your starting mission and you've got like 20 arrows in a quiver and that's it. Well, 20 arrows in a quiver, let's say you happen to somehow go 10 rounds of combat early on before you have 2 attacks. You can shoot through 10 of those arrows.
Well, yeah, of course. That's why he's just giving an example.
Oh, I know, but it's not a great example if it's almost impossible.
Right, but it's just to demonstrate, that's all.
I mean,
fuck your demonstration.
I mean, his point is still valid. He
Mhm.
could say, "What if you get bogged down dealing with chaff on your way to the boss?
Yeah.
Okay,
You don't
see
have
that
enough
there we go.
ammunition on your way to the boss."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it.
It's the same exact thing. It's just instead of him saying you're doing that, he's saying you go 10 rounds. Like it's two.
Yeah.
It's different. The difference here is just saying 3 encounters basically.
Yeah.
Instead of
Yeah, that's
10
a better
rounds.
way to put it because there's no encounter that will go 10 rounds.
Right. But if you just think, oh, I'm going 3 encounters when he says 10
Yes.
rounds, like
Yeah.
it's not hard to just extrapolate that, you know?
Oh, I know.
Okay. Well then,
It's more so just a joke. I'm not saying
okay.
it's impossible.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
10 of those 20. But with a minute searching the battlefield, you could recover 5 of those. And again, later on, as you get to do multiple attacks, 2 attacks, possibly even 3 or 4 attacks, if you're a fighter, recovering ammunition could be really important to you. And again, there's a hard and fast rule right there that says at the end of the battle, you can take a minute and get half of what you shot back, which is interesting. It doesn't matter if you shot and hit the creatures. It doesn't matter if you critical missed and you shot and you hit a tree, you shot and hit a rock. None of that's important. That's just really flavor for the DM. But ultimately, whatever you shot, half of it you can get back by taking a minute to search. And there's no check involved. And then
Which is just weird.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
I get it from the streamlined aspect. You just want combat to kind of just go, you know, and then afterwards you don't want to have this whole, oh, you know, we got to find all my arrows, boys. Spread out, fan out. Which actually I kind of like. Hey, guys, could we, I'm the bow guy. Could we just make sure that I have all the arrows for the next time we do this, please? It's a team building exercise.
When I see this, I think of it as if you fire off an arrow, you're going to have in your mind, okay, there's an arrow here. Okay, there's another arrow here that I missed. This one went wide. Don't know where that one is.
Mhm.
It's out in the forest, probably gone.
Yeah, exactly.
But I know where these ones are. Like, I would be fine with skipping a check on this case too, because yeah, you don't want to bog down combat with post-combat rituals even more.
Yeah, I get it. Again, I get it, but I also like, I don't know, skills don't feel like they are used more than just, like, they're used a lot, but they also feel like they're less used in a combat situation a lot of the time, in the sense of making it so that you get more of an advantage, in certain instances. Like, yes, you roll your athletics if you're trying to push somebody or pull something down as, like, you know, as part of an attack, or a lot of the time, like, tripping, that's the word. And more for battle masters, really, that get this kind of stuff. And, like, you're using it for, what are other cases where you even use skills themselves for anything in combat? Because I don't think you do necessarily. But regardless, it would just make it so that it's at least a little bit more of immersion, in the sense of, I have this skill, I'm proficient in this skill, and even if you, as the person who's firing things off, aren't so proficient, you could have it be this rule plus an additional, if you're proficient in survival, and you roll that and you get, you know, a certain DC set, you can actually recover more arrows, you know, just to give that little bit more to proficiency and skills. I don't know. It would just be something else that would kind of add a little bit more mechanical benefit to something that is also flavorful a lot. Or narrative, I guess, in a way. I don't know. It's not necessary, but I think it would be cool. I missed so much before, by the way, I forgot. And if you're not in a dungeon, the arrows you could recover, or you recover, are probably the ones that did hit armor, since the rest probably flew off into the woods. Yes, probably. Aiden, you speak to me as a light bowgun player.
I'm a light bowgun enjoyer myself.
and I am only a heavy bowgun. Light bowgun's too weak. Sorry.
Heavy bowguns. Heavy bowgun is too slow.
That's fair.
Be fun,
dude. Go back in the day when you couldn't move and shoot at the same time.
True.
No.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't want it. Thanks. It would be funny if in world guns get made just because nobody wants to pull back bowstrings anymore. Oh yeah, pretty much. The crossbow. It's both more accurate, more deadly, and also a little easier on your arms, but not really.
There's a lot of recoil.
Yes. I'm pretty sure humans invented guns because they like hearing loud noises. They like making loud noises anyway. True. What if your arrows get stolen? Well, then some of them are disappeared because of that, you know?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
If your arrows get stolen, talk to Sleeping Dragon about that. There you go. Make a homebrew class that uses ammo instead of spell slots for magic. Okay, guys, I need help finding my spell slots. They went everywhere.
Oh my god.
Also, something else that may come up more often than not, if you use a weapon that has the ammunition property to make a melee attack, you treat the weapon as an improvised weapon. Meaning, like, you're going to use your bow and just use it like a club and hit somebody. Now, that one is a little bit interesting because technically a bow is not designed to be used as a club. It is not structured in such a way. Its tensile strength and things aren't designed for clubbing people. So it would use an improvised weapons. If we scroll down here, it will do a D4 damage.
I'm actually fine with that because that does at least represent that well, and it also means that you're never without an option. You know?
Yeah,
that
makes perfect sense.
That makes total sense to me.
Especially if you happen to be like, oh man, my bow has like metal on the front of it, so it's like the core and everything is wood, and maybe you have like a blade or like a small stabby implement on the metal portion of the bow. So it's specifically for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say...
It might not improve the damage at all, but maybe it improves the roll.
Yeah.
Like, you know, to roll to hit.
I was gonna say, like, you could obviously make new interesting bows in your game and be like, okay, well, if you ever come across a situation where you have to melee with this bow, it could be better in that situation than a regular bow, you know, like you're saying, it's designed specifically to be both like a club and a bow, just weight wise, and like it would be something that would, you could go back to doing what 3.5 did and go like, this is a strength bow, you know, and so because you have the strength and because they've made it so that if you're strong, you can swing it like a club and it hurt more, you know, like you can flavor it.
Maybe it deals a D6 damage if it's a big fucking bow.
Exactly. Hello, Pizza Funk. Can you imagine if bows were made like clubs? Damn. Well, yeah, exactly. So,
well, if you go for like a strength bow,
yeah. The first campaign that I ran, I made the barbarian wanted a bow, so he got a bow. And it was a bow that scaled off of strength that you had to plant before you could fire it.
Oh yeah, like an actual longbow.
Yeah,
nice.
it was essentially just the Anne Orlando bow.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm moving.
The Anne Orlando bow. Sorry.
There you go. That's the one. You got it.
Sorry. I couldn't help it. It was too easy.
Let's see.
What an improvised weapon does. You are not proficient in improvised weapons, typically, unless you take Tavern Brawler, so you would not add your proficiency bonus to the attack you make with this. And it doesn't actually state, I guess you would use strength, because it doesn't, like, I don't think you're using finesse here with your, even though it may be a ranged weapon, you're still using it like a club, so it would be strength-based. So something to consider. But what is also interesting is, and this would be something your DM would have to design into the game, but if an improvised weapon is similar to an actual weapon, it's treated as such. So like if it's a chair leg, it might be used as a club, and then you would just use the club statistics. But yeah, and then it says a sling must be loaded to deal any damage in this way, right? A sling is just a piece of string with like a leather catch to hold the sling pellet or bullet. And if you want to like swing it around and hit somebody with it, you got to have it loaded because that's where the weight of it is. Otherwise, you're just hitting them with like a piece of leather. It doesn't really do anything. I too would also extend this. This is me personally. This is not defined by D&D, but I would extend that same concept to the process of using the ammunition as a weapon. If you want to try to pull off something like a Legolas style, pull an arrow out of your quiver, jab it into somebody as a weapon, and then shoot it, that would be cool. Again, it's not something you're probably going to do too often. Maybe if you know the enemy is super low and you think you can risk just rolling a d4 and maybe dealing enough damage to kill them, it would look really cool in combat to pull out an arrow, stab and down someone in front of you, and then shoot that same arrow at somebody else. Again, that looks really cool cinematically. We've seen it in the Lord of the Rings movies, and I'm sure in a bunch of other movies as well. But I would treat, stabbing someone with an arrow as an improvised weapon, because the arrow itself isn't necessarily made for that kind it is made for stabbing. So, I'll leave that up to you guys. What do you think? If someone were to be using a longbow and they pulled an arrow from their quiver to stab someone in melee, it's obviously a strength-based attack. You're stabbing with them. Does it count as an improvised weapon? Would you count it as something like a dagger? What would the damage be? I mean,
I think I'd still call that an improvised weapon.
Yeah, I agree. It's more in this case. It's more so the action.
Yeah, exactly. It's not because it is necessarily, improvised in the sense of it's not an actual weapon designed for anything. It's just the.
It's you're using something that's not designed for this.
Yeah.
To do that
necessarily.
So
yeah.
I would give it a d6 damage because the purpose of an arrow is to stab, and you are stabbing with it.
True.
However, because of like how you stab, there will invariably be some torque that your arm like puts on the bow. And bow shafts do not handle that too well.
Yeah.
I would rule that will break the arrow though.
Yeah, because you are putting the force behind it. Yeah, I get that in a way that isn't uniform. Yeah, okay. I could see that as well. I'm honestly fine with either case. It's just one of those things that it is a technical improvised weapon, but it is not a mechanically improvised weapon, Yeah. Like that's kind of just how it works. Guess it could be like Pit's bow and you could separate it into two blades in melee. If you're diving full on into fantasy, at least. True. Could do.
Yeah.
D&D and fantasy, I don't know. Seems a little bit far-fetched.
I think there was, in 3.5, there were elven bows that were specifically kind of like that. Somewhat. I think there were, like, bows that could become, or weapons that could become different weapons.
Bloodborne.
Yeah, actually. Like, a little bit, yeah. Club bows sounds like an orc invention. True.
Yes. Or ogre.
Also true. Maybe even anime physics at that point. Specialize in improvised weapons and only fight with real weapons wrong. Yes! That's great!
That'd be hilarious.
Thinking of my...
You're always half hilting your sword.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're fighting knights and you're grabbing it by the blade.
Yep. Exactly.
That would be amazing, dude. You get a battle axe and you're using it like a fucking hammer and you're just smacking people. That'd be very awkward to hold, but you could do it.
You could, yeah.
Get a fucking flail and you're holding it by the wrong end.
Yeah. Hold it by the spiky ball, baby.
Exactly.
Oh, dude, this is great. This spiky ball has so many handles on it.
Yeah. I
can hold it however I want.
Yeah. Oh. OBS disconnected, then reconnected. Very strange. Okay. I think we're still good.
Okay.
Yeah. They just had a temporary, momentary hiccup, it looks like, but that wasn't on my end? Okay. I don't know. Anyway, we're back.
Nice.
Also,
I never left.
Hmm.
Weirdly, you did.
No, I didn't. That's the thing. It was.
I know. I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
You said we're back, so.
Oh yeah, true. Also, I'm thinking of making my orcs a 50-50 mix of D&D orcs and Warhammer orcs. Hell yeah, do it.
Nice.
Arrow counts as an improvised dagger and 3.5 in melee. Is that true? Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, then there's
there you go.
precedent for it. And also, I think in 3.5, didn't they only do D4s? Wasn't that the case? I don't think they did D6s because I think they went higher, but I could be wrong about that. I very well could be. Anyway.
You're doing what it needs to do, how it would normally attack. However, you're not getting the strength and power behind it you would have if you were drawing it from a bow with 60-pound draw length or whatever. So anyway, this was just a short little video to touch on two. Probably one was kind of self-explanatory again, using your crossbow, using your bow as a club, as a weapon to hit somebody. That's gonna deal an improvised weapons worth of damage. It doesn't really need to be defined there. But they did. And the one that I thought was kind of interesting but lesser known is the recovering your ammunition after you shot it. So let me know what you think. Did you know about this rule? Were you familiar with it? Is this just me bringing it up randomly? Again, I don't know how often this will come up, but I'm sure there's a situation where someone's like, I shot all my arrows. I wish I could get some back, but I've ran out. And then you're like, yeah, sorry, buddy, that sucks. But then lo and behold, there was a rule you could have gotten half of the arrows you shot back. So, anyway, thank you to my patrons over on Patreon for continuing to support me and the channel. I will see you all.
That in a situation where the DM just shrugs and says, sorry, buddy, wish there was a rule, that's the case of being a bad DM.
Yeah.
You should make a rule and go, hey, you know what? At the very least, just roll me a survival or a perception.
Yeah.
I will give you X amount back.
Yeah.
You, as DM, are empowered to make rules.
Yeah, exactly. Even without it, I think we all would have at least been, even without even thinking about it, we'd probably just been like, yeah, I mean, if you want some arrows back, you can get some arrows back for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would be like, oh man, you can't do this because I don't know of a rule.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think
I can't imagine a player would be too much like, shucks.
Yeah.
They'd be like, hey, can I roll on something?
Yeah, exactly. I think prompting the roll is usually the response rather than, oh, yeah, I guess. Yes.
Sure. Oh, I never thought of that. Rolling dice? Oh my god.
Yes, there is a certain extent of the DM says, this is the way that it is, but at the same time, there's also the DM it seems to have forgotten how things work.
Yeah.
I can see that I shot my arrow over here. It didn't hit the guy, but it did go right over here. I do see it.
It skittered on the ground. It didn't actually impact the wall fully.
Yeah, it's
because we're actually out of range.
It's over there, so I'm pretty sure I could get that one. It's fine.
Nah, there's no rule for that.
But yeah, so
all right. With that being said, I have to head out, boys.
Yes, I was gonna say. Okay.
All right. Have yourself a good evening. Have a good podcast. Have a good stream.
Yep.
People in the audience, goodbye.
Have a good one.
Yep.
All right.
God, finally.
That guy? Crazy, that guy.
Fuck.
He keeps coming here. It's crazy. I don't know.
He keeps
getting in here.
Showing up.
It's weird.
Weird. He's not even played Dread Delusion. What? How cringe.
By the way, everybody, Dread Delusion, if you don't know about it, it's a video game. Go get it. It's really good.
It's very good.
Do you like Morrowind? Do you not like Morrowind? You'll like Dread Delusion.
Yeah.
That's it, really.
Do you like RPGs that don't hold your hand and have and actually respect your intelligence?
Go get Dread Delusion. It's really good.
It's really good.
But yeah, so also I used to have a hand crossbow that got messed up, so it wouldn't shoot a bolt straight, but it would shoot a pencil accurately. Cool.
Nice.
If only there was a way. Gave me Brian Regan flashbacks. I don't know who that is off the top of my head.
Mm.
Brian Regan. American comedian, huh? Don't know who that is. But he's an American stand-up comedian.
Okay.
All right.
I believe you.
Don't believe me. I just looked it up on the internet, and it could be lying to me. I don't know.
The internet would never lie.
Oh, okay. Watched a bunch of videos about Warhammer orcs. I love the structure of how they do things and grow from the ground, but I still wanted half orcs and some with pig noses. That's why I went mix. Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah, just take the best of whatever you want.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think this is probably it for this. Let's just
Next time.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
there you go. So yeah, that was Nerd Immersion. Like I said, a very informative channel about D&D rules and stuff. Like, if you really want some actual mechanical things and actual rulings that are out there, and some opinion pieces here and there, that is the channel for you about 5e stuff and D&D stuff in general. Because he has definitely gone into that stuff for the books specifically. So go check his channel out. Anyway.
Dude, I'm so fucking sad. You can't upgrade armor more than once.
Oh, really?
I don't get it. I have this new suit of armor, and I have all this fine ore, and I can't use it on it. It hurts my soul.
Well.
Anyway.
So the next video is one that Boo has submitted here.
Yes.
It is from Seth Skorkowski, as I said before. This is 3 hacks for tracking ammo, which is
because I saw it and I'm like,
cool.
yo, these are some really interesting and neat ideas.
Yeah.
You won't believe number 3.
Oh,
because it's very good. And I figured that this is a Seth video we can actually watch because it's more of like a hack video that we can actually talk about.
Analyze, yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to just him saying, in pocket shit.
Yes, exactly.
Where, it's just all correct.
Yeah, that's kind of exactly what I was thinking, because this is just something that it's like, oh, how does this work? Oh, how could I implement this?
And they're really good.
Yeah. So these are 3 hacks for tracking ammo running RPGs by Seth Skorkowski. Let's go.
Hello Internet, Seth Skorkowski, and today we're going to talk about tracking ammo in tabletop role-playing games. Whether it be arrows, bullets, sling stones, laser blasts, or pies, player characters, at least in most RPGs, are going to eventually run out. Often we're trying to emulate certain movies and characters like Legolas and Hawkeye who almost never run out of arrows, not unless it's that, last arrow, better make it count, or some other dramatic moment. I think we've all chuckled about how, gun magazines and movies hold unlimited bullets, while a revolver might hold a meager 12 or 15 shots.
I was gonna say, most of the time these days we all go, okay, how many shots was that? Because we actually like counting that now, because then we actually get to see if they even paid attention. Those screenwriters. Shakes fist.
And they never do.
They are getting better at it a lot of the time.
That's good.
But a lot of the time as well, it depends on what the movie is, really,
Yeah.
But yeah, I find it fun to just go, ooh, that's 7 shots, or ooh, that's 6 shots. If he shoots again, he hasn't reloaded. But there's also like
that's fair.
Was there enough time between this scene and this scene when he started shooting for us to at least go, okay, he could have reloaded,
Yes.
Because like there's also
fair.
that.
That is a fun little game to play.
It is.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, it's a fun little time. Just another way to engage with the movie,
Mm-hmm.
The freeform orc structure is so cool. A really you do you kind of life. Yes, true.
Mm.
So I was thinking the orc warband leaders just saying they're kings and queens to fit in when they're nomadic and open with things. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. The hack I usually use is to reduce the number of arrows on my character sheet by 1 every time I shoot one.
Ooh,
that's crazy.
That's a
Whoa.
good one.
Yes.
And if we're trying to emulate those movies, shouldn't the game also reflect that fact that we're not really limited by ammo at all? Or some players just don't want to deal with the bookkeeping of tracking ammo at all, finding it a hassle that it takes away from the fun, so some tables just don't track ammunition at all, but that also means that they've lost that dramatic last bullet or last arrow tension, and some game masters who've house ruled that they're not going to track ammo end up regretting that decision because their players have lost that challenge and that little bit of fun that comes from that. It really depends on how much of a simulationist with resource management or a narrativist type of player that you and your table are, as well as what type of game it is that you're all playing. But instead of meticulously tracking every single shot or just hand waving that we all have unlimited ammunition now, which are the two extremes, there are a few alternative methods that gamers can do to lessen the bookkeeping while still providing the drama of possibly running out of ammunition at the wrong time. Now, this video is going to be system neutral, so it doesn't matter if you're playing D&D, Cyberpunk, Traveler, Call of Cthulhu, or whatever else. The same general...
Interesting. Because, like, actually saying something like Cyberpunk or Call of Cthulhu is strange to me because I immediately go, but the point in those games for tracking ammunition is to give you those dramatic moments. Like, in any TTRPG, to be fair. But for those ones specifically, like, anything that has, like, that thrill kind of feel to it, I would go, I think that's just, like, the way that they do it, especially in Call of Cthulhu and I would assume Cyberpunk, but I'm not entirely sure. It's been a hot minute since I read it. But especially for just Call of Cthulhu, where we all understand how bullets work a lot of the time, we can just go, oh, I only have this much? Okay. And it's really easy to keep track.
Yeah. It's just, this is again for people who find or have, that they don't really want to do it. These are some other ways you can do it.
Exactly.
That are very, very seamless and very easy to do.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all, of course. I'm just saying it's strange to me that that it's something that would be viewed that way if you're playing those kinds of games. But again,
fair.
Personal preference, at that point.
Tips apply, though they might need to be tweaked a little bit for your specific game. And of course, we're also assuming that your RPG of choice has ammunition tracking at all. If it doesn't, well, you probably don't need to be watching this. Now, personally, I don't care for unlimited ammunition, where the characters can't lose that ability at ranged attacks without some powerful magic or something that has to come in and stop them. That's just my taste. Back when we started playing Dungeons & Dragons in the early 90s, character sheets had this little box for tracking ammunition, and it was really handy. You shot a crossbow or threw a dagger and you marked it off. I don't know why every character sheet in every other game doesn't do this. I found this thing to be so useful, and then it kind of surprised me that very few people ever do this.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. You don't usually see a spot for it. You just have your equipment spot, your weapon spot, and it never says like anything. It never has a box for ammunition. It just
it's always what is it? You have a spot for the weapon, and you can see how much it fires.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of just, okay, put the rest of your ammo in your inventory.
Exactly.
You're like, it doesn't feel quite as good.
And even in something like D&D and everything, they have spell slots, and that is your ammunition for being a spellcaster.
Yeah. So weird.
It's just very strange. Now that I have now had this all pointed out to me, I'm like, wait, what are we doing?
Now that you have been, would this be a red pill or a blue pill?
You take the blue pill to see how things truly are.
Isn't that the good one?
Isn't that to see things how they truly are? I don't remember.
I think so. I've always associated the blue pill with something that's like, this is a positive way, and what is it?
Red pill is negative.
Red pill is a more like negative outlook.
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know.
I don't use that in my nomenclature, so
that's fair enough. I don't either.
Yeah,
I've just been hearing it a lot.
I hear that, and then I hear black pill, and I'm like, I just don't know.
I think the black pill is like really doomer, like the worst it could be.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I remember hearing that a few years ago, like get more and more popular, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. Anyway, I understand it's a Matrix reference and such, but that's really all as far as I'm gonna go with it. Because every time I heard it, I was like, oh, I'm so red pilled or blue pilled. I'm just like,
it's like
okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I
Anyway.
guess. Yeah. Anyway. Brings to mind a bunch of orcs scrambling to set up royalty shit when diplomats from countries show up. Orcs, yes, we are noblemen. Yes, that's great. I love that.
Hello, fellow noblemen.
Yes, I am also king. Don't worry. Good stuff. I like it.
Yep.
Oh, right. But what I was gonna say, just in addition to this, because it almost slipped my mind, it is so the easiest thing that you could do is put it on a sheet, because even with the way that things go nowadays, with a lot of things being electronic, so you don't have as much of the I have a piece of paper and a pencil, and so I can erase it out and rewrite it and all that kind of stuff. Even with like the PDFs and stuff, you can, make a note and then take it away and then put it back and all that kind of stuff. Like, you can do all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And, with the fillable PDFs that we've been using and that are out there for every game, basically, it's just literally a checkbox that you just mark, And even if we it's the easiest addition that you could ever have, to any sheet. And
they don't.
It's really weird.
It is very weird. Your mind has been blown, hasn't it?
Yeah, actually, it's something that I just forgot we used to have.
Yeah.
Because I have played second edition, like he was showing with AD&D, so I do know that was there. It's just weird.
Yeah, it is very weird that they would remove such a useful and unobtrusive or unintrusive thing.
Yeah, because if you didn't want to use it, you just didn't,
It was just there.
Yeah.
And it took up, 2 lines?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I'm wondering if maybe it was removed effectively because people weren't tracking it. And they were just like, fuck it, I don't want to do this.
It really might be.
Even with it being that easy.
Yeah, it really might be, because I don't have a 3.5 sheet right off the bat here for me to look at, because I don't remember if it was on there or not. It might be. But because 5e is the way that it is, it's streamlining things, and they made it very simple in a lot of instances. I feel like that also could be part of it. Though, I mean, there are some things on that sheet that I'm like, you could have just made that a little smaller and then, put something else in there. But, the red pill was the one that gets you out of the Matrix, though I think it was really just symbolic. If you took it, it let the humans know you wanted them to bring you out. Yes. True.
Oh, I see.
The only ones that know how orcs truly are, will be the ones that chose to live with the orcs. Yeah, fair enough. Damn boomers having things we can't. True. I hate that red pill, blue pill shit. It's so stupid. That is fair.
Yeah, no, it totally is.
Yeah,
I say lots of cringe shit specifically just for the meme.
I get that it is a way to, as for the literal translation of what a meme is, it is a really easy way for you to get an idea across if you are aware of it.
Yes.
Right? That's the thing. But anyway.
That's what memes are good at.
Yep.
The DNA of the soul. Oh, sorry.
Now, a few years later, I started playing Cyberpunk 2020, and in that game, players had to weigh certain factors when choosing a firearm. Large caliber weapons inflicted more damage, but they held less ammunition.
Yeah.
And weapons with lots of bullets or extended magazines were more difficult to conceal. So there's a bit of a balance involved, a give and take. And if we decided that we all simply had unlimited ammunition, it would have completely ruined that really cool aspect of the game.
Yeah.
Now, in fantasy games with arrows, we can often recover in arrows and fire them over and over again. And ones that might have been broken or lost could be fixed through crafting rolls or through magic. So we tracked all arrows fired, but then after the battle we'd roll a 1 in 6 were lost and needed to be repaired or replaced. Now, one method that some groups adopt, and I've certainly used this one before, is turning the base camp into a reload point, meaning that when your characters delve into the dungeon or perform the heist or whatever it is, we track each shot. But if they leave the dungeon and go back to their base or wherever their mounts or vehicles are outside, they can fully restock. Like we've got a portal to the elemental plane of bullets there or something. And characters might need to periodically head back out to their base camp to replenish their ammo supply. Now, one alternative...
So, I understand that one. It's a little, it's a little weird just because,
it's a touch weird
because it's a little unrealistic in a lot of senses, but I do get it, and I think that it could be utilized in a way that makes it so that it is at least a risk, right?
Yes.
Where you're like, oh yeah, you can go back and do that and resupply it. It'll take you some time, right? And then you have things progress, or something happens to the dungeon that they were going in, that
exactly
they didn't
like
realize.
You've killed a monster or something, and then there's a different monster in its place now eating the body or something.
Right,
like
exactly.
that.
You have something that makes sense that would happen because of what they've done so far, without them to be there to stop it.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's fine to do if you want to implement something like that. Additionally, but of course, if you want to do it that way and just they go back, they come back, whatever. That's fine too. Obviously, it just really depends on your table. But it's an easy way for you to just have it be a consequence to their action.
Yes, exactly.
The intended definition that was that the red pill meant you were willing to learn an unsettling truth, and the blue pill meant you would remain in a contented but false reality. But when people actually use it, they just call it red pilled if you agree with what they think, and usually that they think their belief is objectively true, so it's kind of the opposite.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah, again, this is why I didn't take the time to learn it or utilize it, because it just didn't.
Fucking internet.
It's
nerd.
whatever.
Now, one alternative is to only track missed shots. So if you shoot your bad guy with your arrow, then great, don't mark that one off. But if you fired and missed, that arrow or crossbow bolt is assumed to have flown off in the distance or hit the dungeon wall and smashed. So you can say that your character is 10 or 15 or 20 shots that's in their bow. But instead of thinking that's how many shots that they have to take, see that as how many misses that they could possibly have. So highly proficient characters who aren't that likely to miss are going to naturally have more shots before they run out of arrows, giving us that Legolas ability of getting 50 shots out of those 5 arrows. Now, of course, this is against normal opponents, right? If we're firing arrows against the fire or acid monster, each arrow that strikes it is going to be destroyed, making those opponents even more of a threat because now we're marking off every shot. A different but similar method is to only track...
Okay, wait. Okay, so, the second part, but the first part, the only issue that I have is that it makes it seem like if you are going against something, and even if you're proficient, if you're missing a bunch, quote unquote, then you look like an incompetent fool.
Oh yeah.
That's my only thing of if you even if you're one off and all that kind of stuff, I know how we usually narrate some things of you hit it, but it doesn't do damage. It just kind of hits against armor or something, goes against the scales of the dragon, so it doesn't necessarily break, but it is still a hit, because you don't want them to just feel God, I'm missing. Because yes, you are technically, but
we kind of want to soften the blow.
Exactly, and it makes it, one, more cinematic in a way, and two, just makes it
less feels bad, man.
Yeah, less feels bad, man. Exactly.
But yeah, it's just a narrative thing that we do because it sucks to be the person who's missing constantly.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got a job to do. You're the arrow man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it really sucks when you're not able to do the one thing you're supposed to be good at.
Yeah.
Just because of dice.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's something that a lot of people do, of just narrating these misses to be more than just a miss.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you can still do that where, let's say, you're still you're losing your arrows due to misses.
Yeah.
You can still say that, it still hit, but, it hit, the convex portion of the armor, and it actually, splinters a bit. Maybe the arrow doesn't fully break, but this one is basically useless. It will lose a lot of its ability to, or maybe with the dragon scale, it skitters along the scale and sails past it, and it eventually sinks into a rock, and it's broken now.
Yeah,
so you can still have those miss hits, whatever.
It's true.
And you just narrate it that way.
Yeah,
so it's doable.
It is doable for sure.
Yeah.
From what I saw, Red Pill is dog whistle for people that are really hateful assholes. Well, you know.
Yeah.
That too. They're just too insecure to admit that they might be wrong. Well, yeah, fair. There you go.
Everybody's taking fucking medicine.
Yeah. What's going
Medicine's
on?
fucking expensive.
Yeah. How are they
afford it
getting all that? Jeez.
Be careful. You don't want to eat any fentanyl.
Mmm.
By the way, that was in a fucking Seth video where he's like, I whipped out the pocket fentanyl and blew it in his eyes. I'm like, fuck off.
But that's like an actual thing, so it's fine.
I know. It's awful, though.
Yeah,
I
because
love
people have made it awful, not because it's a thing that can be utilized. That's the problem.
Oh, I know. It's just fucking goddamn it.
It is-
I love Seth so much. And I mean Seth Zintak, not Seth.
Yeah. I know.
Okay, great.
I get that. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Now that it's become a
goddamn-
part of the pop culture for some reason, like
Yeah, now we can make fun of it.
and now it's like, oh, everybody's using it. It's like, oh, this has
Yeah,
always been a
everybody-
thing. That's crazy.
Everybody's dying. Great.
Wow.
Now we can laugh at them.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway.
every shot. A different but similar method is to only track fumbles or full auto bursts. Some gamers have said they treat ammunition as being unlimited until a fumble is rolled, and then it's treated like they're completely out of ammunition now. Personally, I don't like that idea of it being either totally full or totally empty. The reason being is, what if that was their first shot in the entire adventure? Our archer walks into a dungeon fully loaded, shoots at a goblin, misses the goblin, and all of a sudden they're completely out of arrows? That's just silly. It also loses that impending threat of watching their ammunition get lower and lower and lower, and now they have to debate, should I take this shot or maybe should I do something else? Now, firearms, they usually have magazines, and you can easily carry half a dozen or more spare magazines on you, so it's easy to use the method where rolling a fumble or a serious failure means that you emptied your gun, and now you need to spend the next round you're reloading your next magazine before moving on. Then you simply mark off one magazine. Now, that's how the Alien RPG does it, where panic roll means that you lose your cool and empty your weapon, and then you need to reload that weapon. And
We gotta play that at some point. Alien.
I'm not a huge Alien guy. I know that Aiden was like
I am.
super into like when he heard it. Oh, and you as well? Okay.
I like it. I love Alien. Alien's great.
Yeah, Alien to me is just kind of I never watched it growing up, so it never really struck me. Oh wow.
Yeah, it's just a good movie. I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, the Alien has never really done it for me, but I'd be down to play it.
Yeah, I mean, it's either or Mothership, really. Mothership's the other one that's like, this is inspired by, and it's a lot more than just the Alien kind of aspect. It is space. Oh God, it's the worst out here.
That already sounds more appealing.
Yeah,
because I'm like, oh, it's Alien. Okay, sure. That's I know what I'm getting in for. At least with Mothership, I might not know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
it'd be more likely than Mothership for sure.
Yeah,
because you're right. Alien would be like, oh yeah, I know what that is.
Alien. I wonder if we're gonna fight an alien,
right?
Or an alien is gonna come and kill us, or something.
True. I get that.
Yeah.
You still haven't seen Alien either? You should. It's good.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Yeah. I've never seen it, but I know that it's a great movie.
Yeah. It holds up, man. It's so good. When you see when they're on the planet and you see the little children in their spacesuits so they can get the size for the fucking shots, it's great. It's fantastic. They used to do so many things with practical things, and it's impressive. It's impressive,
not
man.
Anymore, it's not.
Well, it's impressive back then.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Hilariously, it was impressive back then, and it's still impressive now.
Exactly.
Players that only track how many reloads they have. However, with arrows or quivers, which are significantly larger, and walking around with half a dozen loaded quivers would just look ridiculous. So divide quivers into loads, like a quiver holds maybe 4 loads. Then as the PC rolls a fumble, that doesn't mean that they're totally out of arrows, but mark off 1 load. That removes the minutia of tracking every single shot, but also allows that tension when the player looks down as their ammo is going, from 4 to 3 to 2 to 1, and now that they know that one more bad roll and they might be out of arrows.
So that's a much better way to do it for that kind of instance, so that it's the equivalent of like a magazine, basically.
Yeah. Or multiple magazines.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like that's a much better way to do it, but I think personally I just really don't like it as like a rule to go by. Just in the sense of like utilizing fumbles that way because of what he said of like in your first combat instance, you could just lose most of your ammo. You know?
I mean, but what's the chance of rolling like that many ones in a row? That's the problem.
No,
that's the thing.
I understand that, but I just don't prefer that. I really just I would rather track my ammunition in its entirety, you know?
Okay, fair enough.
Because again, I'm about that. First off, about that, and two, about the tension that it could bring. I'm very much about that because of, you know, things like Delta Green, where it's like, oh yeah, you have, you know, a couple of magazines, great. If you're gonna utilize all those bullets, well, you better fucking hope that you don't utilize all of them, you know, when you don't have access to getting the fuck out of there, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
Because it adds so much more. It really does when you have a limited resource that you do need to keep track of. At least I think so.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway.
Modiphius's 2d20 system does something similar, and I've reviewed both Conan and Octung Cthulhu that use that. But one aspect that those add is going all in on an attack, where a player can choose to spend a full load by laying down a burst of automatic fire or firing a full volley of arrows. So you can house rule into your own game how this weapon holds maybe 5 loads, and rolling a fumble spends one of those. Or the player might choose to spend one of those on a full burst of automatic fire or some other added benefit, like a bonus die to hit or a bonus to damage or something like that, meaning that there is a trade-off involved. But you know, some attack might be really important, and the player can decide if it's worth spending a full load on this attack. Dude, if you say load one more time, I'm gonna frickin' lose it. What about when he was all, I'm gonna blow a load for this important fact? I didn't say it like that.
Seth.
Yep, it's still funny.
Thank you for your little vignettes that you do here.
Yep.
For your little things. Skits, that's the word.
Yes.
Good stuff. Black pill just means pessimist, though. We just keep coming up with new words for a thing that already has or for things that already have words. Yep, true.
That's very true.
Yeah, I don't know.
No cap. No cap.
There it is.
God fucking damn it.
There it is. That's the one. That was last generation, sir.
It was. It was. Gotta move on.
That's right. I know what happened in Aliens since I watched a lot of reviews but never watched it. Yeah, everybody knows what happens for sure. But
yeah, it's been like
is
out for what, like 50 years now? Literally?
Yes.
Came out in the 70s.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Actually, it was 69, I think.
Oh my god.
I think it was on the cusp of the 70s. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say. But yeah,
that's insane.
It's been a long time, man.
And it's still so fucking good.
Yes. I would highly recommend it just for the experience of just witnessing it for the first time in motion.
Yes.
Even though, like, that is one of the ones where even though you know everything, it's still worth it to just see the entire thing. Like, you don't get spoiled by knowing what happens.
Yeah, the experience is what you're going for. It's not. It's honestly not that much of a plot until they start expanding on it in the other ones.
And honestly, like, even though you know the things that are happening, the character work is still like there for you to witness and understand how the characters are well written. So like, you don't even get everything for just knowing how the plot goes. It's definitely something that you should still watch. Anyway.
Yeah, but what you say and what we hear ain't always related. Another method, and I haven't used this one myself,
I
but
like
I really
this one
dig
the
this
most.
idea, is ammunition dice. This is something that I found over on Giphy Glyph, and I think it's pretty cool, and I think I might try to use this at some point. Essentially, every ranged weapon has a die value associated with how much ammunition you have for it, such as your gun or your quiver fully loaded has a d20, and then when you roll your 2 hit, you also roll your ammunition die, and I recommend rolling both of these at the same time, just simply with different color die. If that ammunition die rolls a 1, that means that you've used up a significant portion of ammunition and you move that down to the next lower die. So a d20 goes down to a d12, d12 goes down to a d10, then a d8, d6, and then finally a d4.
Okay.
Giphy Glyph also gives us this handy breakdown of how many the average shots that we can have if we start with a certain die. So if you start with the d20,
Okay, I do like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one the most. That one's very good.
Yeah, and it makes it so that it's like, ooh, oh.
Yeah, so you get to see as your ammunition starts to dwindle.
Yeah, you do have that.
Everybody gets to see it. So you still get the the tracking.
Yes.
You still, and because of that little graph right there,
Yeah.
you have your average usage. So it's like, oh, my arrow, I have 30 arrows, and that's like my standard load.
Yeah, true.
So you're still technically tracking that finite resource.
Yeah, and it's literally just, and it gets easier and easier to use more of it as you get lower and lower, obviously, but it is only on ones. So,
Yes.
like, even so, 1 in 20 chance, 1 in 12 chance, 1 in 10 chance, like, even so, it's still something that is less likely to happen. And yeah, no, it's absolutely cool. Absolutely.
Yeah, I really like that one.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can still combine this with like the ammunition recovery type deal.
Yeah, where you go
like,
back
let's
up
say,
a die size or something.
Yeah, so like maybe you're like, okay, I want to spend some time collecting ammunition, and then you see what you roll. Do you roll like a 15 or 20? Like 15 and above, then maybe you go back up a die size, or maybe it would be like 18 to 20, something like that.
Right. And then, yeah, it would be then whenever you get a chance to go back to a town to actually buy it up, you could then get all the way back to your D20 as well. Yeah.
I really like it a lot.
That's a good way to streamline it and also keep that feel for sure.
Yes.
Honestly. Good stuff.
Yeah, very good.
You can expect around 30 shots before you're out. Or if you start with a D8, you can expect around 9 shots on average. This can be really useful for where a player character might find a pistol or some other weapon. Instead of telling them that this weapon holds 12 bullets, you could, that you have to mark off each individual one as they fire it. You simply say that this weapon has an ammunition die of a D10 when it's fully loaded. Now, the only thing I would change with this is on a D4, instead of saying that the ammunition is all of a sudden all out when you roll a 1, say that there's now only 1 shot left. And that gives us that drama of the player knowing perfectly well that this next shot will definitely be their last. Let's take a link down the video description below to Glyph's site so you can all check that out. Anyway, that is it. Pretty short and simple video here. Personally, at my table, if the game is designed where you're supposed to be counting ammunition, we count ammunition. Evidently, I'm a monster for that. But over all the years, I've received countless comments from people saying how they don't count ammunition at all for any game and giving everyone unlimited shots, or they have it where the player is just totally full until they roll a single fumble and they're just totally empty. And I want to offer a few alternatives to those extremes because I'm not really a fan of either of those. Hopefully some people out there might find these ideas useful and again tweak them and work them into their own games. Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to see some more of our stuff such as game reviews or how-tos, just hit that subscribe button. Till next time, amigos, stay awesome. Dude, I'm happy that you think those ammunition dice are cool and all, but I think I'm just going to stick to counting bullets. I get more shots that way.
True.
Why? The average number of shots is technically higher. I mean, if a 20-round magazine uses a D20, then on average, you're going to get 30 shots before you run out. Yeah, average. I'm dice cursed, man, so I'm just going to roll all ones on those things to be out of ammo by the 7th round. So.
Brogan.
Oh, thank you. I'm sticking to the classics.
Nice.
Yep. It's broken.
Absolutely. That's Seth Skorkowski. If you haven't ever seen a Seth Skorkowski video, please go over and watch his stuff. It's all very good. Yes. Highly recommend. The link will be in the description as always to go to that video, and that'll get you to that Glyphy site as well.
The reason we said it earlier, the reason why we often don't talk about Seth is because his shit is so good that it's basically just going, Yep.
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's it.
Yeah, for sure.
He does lots of reviews for scenarios, a lot of AD&D stuff and Call of Cthulhu.
Yep.
And it's super good.
Yep. So yeah, please, if anything, if you don't do anything else because of this show, go and subscribe to Seth, please. Anyway, spoilers make me want to watch something more, to be honest. I'm weird like that. That's fair. So with me, if I get spoiled on stuff, it's in my head forever, and I will always remember that. And it ruins things for me all the time, because it's just like, oh, I already know about this. And so I don't get the full experience anymore, which is why I don't I don't usually go for reviews on things that I really am interested in. I don't watch trailers for things that I'm very interested in or anything like that. Like, I just go in as blind as possible, which is really easy to do when you just don't look for things.
Yeah, it's easy when you live under a rock.
That's right.
He doesn't live under a rock.
No.
He lives in a very scuffed house.
That's true.
It's not that scuffed.
I'm slowly making it less.
Yes.
But legitimately, it's just, for me, my experience is ruined by the more that I know about something. It's just how it is, because I will have that as a forefront thought, because my brain does not stop thinking about things.
What a shame.
I cannot enjoy things like everybody else. I have to.
Nope.
I have to have it in my head for some reason.
Yep.
It's a curse. It really is. It's not good. I'm not better for it at all.
We pity this man.
Yes. Anyway, dice ammo thing is cool. Yes.
Yeah.
Few things I didn't get into until after I was spoiled, probably because the spoilers told me something about it that got me interested. That is fair. Absolutely fair.
Makes sense.
Honestly, there are some things that I have literally no interest in, and then if I'm told about something that's interesting, I might look into it. But if I have genuinely like no interest in something and somebody tells me something about it, I don't consider that a spoiler. I just consider that to be, I have
now gained information.
Exactly. Like, it wasn't something I was going to look into at all anyway, so whatever.
Mm.
I also like Seth's shirt. Yes, his shirt was cool.
Mm.
Just hope I pay more attention to the video on the rewatch. Being blonde can be a problem. You're fine. Trailers make things look like shit, so yeah, don't watch those. Well, they also can tell you, like, too much information as well. That's the problem, because they want to get you interested, but then, like, sometimes the whole trailer is the whole movie. Like,
yeah. I don't really watch movie trailers. I tend to watch game trailers.
Even those, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest here. I genuinely feel kind of bad for having seen the second official trailer for Monster Hunter Wilds, because it has revealed the flagship, and holy fucking shit, he looks cool!
Nice.
And I'm so sad that I saw it through a trailer, not in the game. I'm like, fuck.
Yep. Yeah, it's things like that. It's things like that where I'm just like, yeah, I'll figure it out if I'm interested and I'm gonna play it or watch it or whatever. I can.
Oh my.
Absolutely.
Dude, he's so fucking cool. He looks fucking awesome. I can't wait to kill it and wear its flesh.
Hell yeah, brother. It's always good.
Yeah.
Sorry for...
So you know what I have, what I will tell you, though. Did you play Monster Hunter 3, or did you watch it?
I played a little bit of it, but I didn't get very far in it.
Did you ever fight Lagiacrus?
No.
Okay. Lagiacrus, it was the flagship of that game, and he's a massive fan favorite, and the problem with him is that he is Leviathan.
Oh, cool.
And he's got his own, kind of like body style.
Mm-hmm.
Like Leviathans all have the same skeleton, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently they were saying in World and in Rise, they couldn't figure out how to get the Leviathan skeleton to function right on slopes, because, slopes were actually only a thing in World.
Yeah, that's
Onward.
true. Yeah.
Everything was flat plains.
Yeah, that's true.
But in the promotional shit, they have a Leviathan.
Oh, cool.
They have a Leviathan, and it is working.
Awesome.
So I am, and I'm sure a lot of other people are praying that Lagiacrus makes a return.
Well, there you go. It very well could. Either in this or in DLC for it. Yeah.
Yeah, it could, and God, I want it. I want it so bad. The only other thing I really want is water. I want to swim.
Yeah, I never got to experience that, so I would like to. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun, especially now that you can move better. Like,
yeah.
This is the time.
Exactly. We've entered the point where water is fine.
Yes, because basically everybody who has played 3 and 3 Ultimate are like, dude, bring the water back. Even though at the time everyone was like, dude, fuck water. And that's why they didn't do it in fucking 4. but now everybody's singing a different tune.
Well, yeah, because they can do it now.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Um,
cross fingers.
we shall see. Let's see. Sorry for spoiling you all up and down on Kid Icarus Uprising. Oh, I already know about that game. Don't worry. You're fine.
Yeah, you spoiled it for him.
Yeah. No, I mean, I knew about it, like, back when it was a thing, you know, like, when it was newer. I remember people talking about it, and I heard a lot about it, and then I watched a little bit of gameplay about it, but it never really caught my interest, so I didn't play it. So, you know, he hasn't spoiled everything about it, pretty much just the fact that Veridi's in it, I think. True. Spend most of this talking about orcs, but the videos were good. Yes, this is gonna probably be our shortest episode yet, because the videos were just informative and good. Yeah. Because just way it is sometimes, you know.
I mean, hey, sometimes we have like 6-hour ones, and now we have like hour and a half.
Yeah, well, it's almost 2 hours at this point, which is actually the shortest before this was 2.5, and I will read a couple of comments to get us to 2 hours probably, and then that'll be it, right? Time to Garibay to pad out the time.
Fuck no.
No, but I do think that we should do a Garabingo soon, and I do think that we should do some miniatures looking at soon. Just to do some of that as well. We'll see. But anyway, so
I am definitely going to leave because I'm gonna play Dread Delusion and get some food.
Well, here's before you leave, I do want to talk about Dread Delusion a little bit, just to get people interested more. If you are out there and you want a good RPG, like we've said before now, if you want a good RPG to play, and I will bring it up here, Dread Delusion is fantastic. It might not be for everyone. No, absolutely not, but I need more people to play this game, because it is so good.
Yes.
So, here, I'll put it on the screen really quick. So, Dread Delusion, this is the Steam thing. Obviously. Is there a way that I can do this so that I can make it... Oh, you know what I can do? Hold on. I'm an idiot. We will do it this way. Like this. And then, these are the comments that we're going to be reading in a second here, but don't worry about that. Just for a second. I just need to show you all the video game. So, Dread Delusion, it is... fantastic. It just is. It just really much is. If you are into blocky PS1 texture work like I am, like, it's something that is like a really nice bit of nostalgia for me. It's just a nice art style that I really enjoy. And then you're, like we said before, you're into Morrowind, or not into Morrowind, but you're into RPGs that don't hold your hand. Plus a world that is weird, but in a good way. And a world that rewards you for exploring nooks and crannies in a big world. Like, I went into a spot that I just went into and there was nothing there, and I was like, hold on a second, and I hugged the wall and went into an invisible wall.
Yo,
and
where was that?
It was near Hallishire, or not Hallishire? I don't know. That place.
I say Hallishire, but it's higher Hallishire.
Either way, but it's actually near there. It's near the what is the fuck? It's like a hillside that leads up to the castle. In that area.
When you say the castle, do you mean the town or Hallow Castle?
Hallow Castle, the castle itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure, because the town does also look kind of like a castle.
I guess so, yeah. Technically.
From a distance, it kind of looks like
yeah. I can see that. But yeah, so and it's something. Yeah, it's something that it was like, oh, you found this, and it needs to be activated from somewhere else, and I went, oh. It gave me a glimmer of delusion as well, so you definitely should find it.
I want a glimmer of delusion.
Yep. But yeah, so this is an absolutely strange world. It's only $20, but like. It says it's a world that is handcrafted, and it does feel that way. Like, it's somebody put this thing together. It's got a really cool way to find a map and utilize that map system. It's got spells that are cool with how the spell book works and everything, like the animation. It's got like actual consequential choices.
Yes.
Um,
And there is no manual save system.
yes.
So whatever choice you make, you have to stick to it.
Yes. You like, and you can save when you go to these like points that are places that you can teleport back to. It does save the game, but there's no like you hit escape and save, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, and it's just like a lot of well-written character work and a lot of interesting characters that are in the world, even if they're not technically like a important NPC. And there's like lore books and stuff. Like, yeah, it's just cool, man.
It's excellent.
And honestly,
it's very good.
Oh, another thing, there are alternative ways to open locked doors besides just lock picking. For some doors do need lock picks, but there is usually something else that you can do for a lot of them. So you know, if you don't just spec into being a thief, basically, you're gonna at least be able to get through a lot of stuff. Yeah. And yeah, just a lot of weird, cool designs and everything. Yeah, man. Dread Delusion.
Yeah.
Go fucking get that game.
It's extremely good.
Yeah. High recommendation.
Also, even though it's like Morrowind, I will tell you, it is not a hard game.
No.
If you play on normal, it is an absolute breeze to play.
And there is a hard mode as well.
Yeah. But it's also not the kind of game where, you know, you're just like, you know, you have to put in effort to play it.
Yeah.
Which is a weird way to say it. But, like, the combat is not hard. You're not going to be dying every 10 seconds like you would in Morrowind because you just, you know, attack and then you just don't hit.
Yes. So, yeah. Dread Delusion. Pick it up.
Yes.
All right. Now I will allow you to leave.
I have fully corrupted this man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this...
Because I found it first. I showed it to him, and then he fucking, before I was even able to finish, like, showing him, he was like, okay, I'm buying this.
Yeah, it has, like, airships. You can get your own houses. Like, yeah, I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah.
For sure.
I still don't have an airship, dude. I'm so sad.
Dude, I know. I'm... Anyway, so... if you want to invest a lot of your time into something, go and get that game, please. Anyway, so yeah, now I will allow you to leave.
Okay. I'm gonna look for this hole in the wall that you found, and I will talk to you another time.
Alrighty, see you later.
All right, see ya.
Okay, so, oh, interesting. When it's just me in a call, it doesn't show me talking anymore? Okay. Weird. Okay. This'll work. So I'll just go to this one. Hey. Let me move myself over so that it's not as weird of a place for me. Hi there. Okay. So, time for comments. Now that I've told you about that. I can still hear you anyway. Yeah, you're good. Don't worry about it. Do orc minis next, please? Potentially. Could do. Could also pass for PS1. Yes, exactly. I like that art style. It's blocky and it's something that I remember, you know? I think I should have been an OC, but Entropy's already the OC I would have been. There you go. Game looks cool. Yeah. I am here. Wow. Okay, so let's move on to comments. I have kept the comments without me hearting them so they could all be in a little list. So let me do that really quick here. All right. So, here's what I haven't responded to yet. First off, we have Timothy on last week's episode saying, "Hello, bros. Hello. New lore. The Log of Alabaster, entry 22. As I was sitting at the fireplace eating a quick meal before heading to the arena for the next batch of matches, the semifinals were set to happen. The 4 fighters are my brother, Cyrus, Star Ruby, King Cornell, and an orc princess named Bloodhook. The fights have been getting more brutal with every round." Oh, hey, I just realized that I'm also just kind of there here. That's weird. Wow. Hey. Don't worry about it. Wait, am I slightly... I am. Sorry. Oh, okay, it's not... Oh. I'm way over here for this. What the fuck? Okay. I need to be there? Okay. How about that? Sorry, this is now going to bug me until I fix it, so. Oh god, I went too far. Okay. I think I'm slightly bigger on this screen, but it's fine. I'll fix it later. Okay. So, what was I reading? My apologies. The fights have been getting more brutal with every round. I've had to heal a bunch of wounds on Star Ruby over the past few days. Who knew that that halfling would put up such a fight? Cornell and Cyrus haven't walked away without their fair share of injuries as well. Cyrus looked like he lost a few teeth to a drow. And Cornell got his arm broken by an iron golem. But what puzzles me is the orc. She seems to be fighting while pregnant, which has made her the talk of the town. I never knew how tough orcs really are. The betting has gone sky high with the final 4 confirmed. Galvin put 5 silvers on Star Ruby, despite the fact that I told him it was too unpredictable to bet. I heard from Targasus that the matches will be Star Ruby versus Cornell and Cyrus versus Bloodhook. I couldn't help myself being worried about what might happen today. Massimo and I walked out the front door, meeting Star Ruby, who was training outside. Leroy: "How are you feeling, Star Ruby?" Star Ruby: "I'm good, boss. The healing potion you made worked well." Glad to hear it. If you have a big challenge, glad to hear it. You have a big challenge today. Harder than that halfling? Massimo: "If you see King Cornell as harder, then yes." Star Ruby: "Oh, damn. That might be harder." Massimo: "Good luck, friend," patting Star Ruby on the back. Leroy: "Yes, do your best, and don't get too hurt, please." Star Ruby: "Thanks, guys. I will try. I got this far, right?" Leroy: "Indeed you have. Let's go pick up Galvin from the stables." As we walked down the road, the usual noise and chatter was in the air. We had to duck and push our way to the stables. When we got to Galvin's stall, he was flat on his back in a haystack. His pony was drinking water from a big bucket. There seemed to be a finished painting on top of Galvin, and a few chicken leg bones laying around him. Massimo: "It's kind of cute how comfortable he is here. Also, does that painting look like me?" Star Ruby: The outfit looks better than yours, though. I'll get him up." Star Ruby then banged on the side of the wall, or the side wall. "Hey, cat, wake up." Galvin's leg twitched. He then mumbled, "Yeah, I want more dipping sauces, please. The chicken is a little dry." Turning over. Massimo: "I got it." Walking over to the haystack, moving the painting, pulling Galvin to a sitting position and shaking him. Galvin's eyes soon fluttered open. Galvin: "Oh, hey, buddy, what day is it?" Massimo: "It's Monday. Also, where did your shirt go?" Galvin: I don't know." Leroy: is that it?" Pointing to a piece of cloth the pony was standing on. Galvin: good eye, Leroy boy." "Move over, pony. I need that." "Oh, damn, I got blue paint on it. We got matches today?" Leroy: "Yes, 40 minutes till start time." Galvin: "Nice. I hope my bets pay off." or my bet pays off. Leroy, I told you it was risky. Galvin, I'm not worried. I got more paintings made up to make the money back if I lose. Not that I will lose. Star Ruby has been on a roll. When we made it to the arena, Cyrus met us at the gate. Cyrus, baby brother, I was hoping to catch you before the round begins. Leroy, good day, brother Cyrus. Time has treated you well. You think so? I haven't had time to notice. Good to see that you're doing fine. You're done finding yourself. I've read your IMO profile. I was a proud big brother indeed when I saw you pass the testing. And with Talathorn as your trainer, too. Thank you, Cyrus. The test nearly killed me, so I'm glad it was worth it. And since I have the chance, great job on becoming a director of the South Branch. Haha, yes. Lots more paperwork, but it's a challenge. I welcome wholeheartedly. Also, you showed great bravery finding our great-grandfather in Steelwood. I wouldn't say bravery, but I couldn't have done it without my party. Galvin and Massimo actually spotted him first. Galvin, yeah, we all helped. Cyrus, yes, where are my manners? A champion is nothing without his brothers in arms. Going down the line, shaking everyone's hands. Galvin, nice strong grip you got there, handsome. Massimo, oh no, sir, it was nothing really. Star Ruby, just doing my job, sir. Cyrus, right. Star Ruby, you fought amazingly. You bring great honor to House Alabaster. Best of luck the rest of the way. Star Ruby, same to you, sir. Leroy, good luck on joining the Knights of Bahamut as well, brother. I know that that is what you are really fighting for in this tournament, not the money. Cyrus, sharp as ever, little brother. Tell you what, if I win, I will split the money 50-50 and give it to you and Veronica to make up for not sending enough letters to you both. Leroy, you want to give half to Cornell? I don't hate Cornell, Leroy. In fact, I respect his strength greatly. He's proven his mettle in the tournament. Plus, it can also act as a late wedding gift. We should all have lunch and catch up sometime. Galvin, hell yeah, if Cornell is paying. Leroy, sounds good, Cyrus, shaking his hand once more. Cyrus then walked through the front gate. I then heard someone from behind us say, so you and the paladin are kin. When I looked, it was Bloodhook, the orc princess. Leroy, yes, he is. You're Bloodhook, right? Nice to meet you. Bloodhook, aye. Bloodhook the Merciless is my full title. The future queen of the Hill Plains Orc clan. I do my best not to kill your brother. That would be nice, thank you. Galvin, may I ask a question, Bloodhook? Bloodhook, say it soft, Tabaxi. Are you really pregnant, or are you just bigger in the middle there? I am with child, yes. Fighting pregnant makes the offspring proper hard. These I have now are seeded by a troll. That should spice it up even more. Great new warriors to add to the ranks. I must go now. As she walked through the gate. That's all I got. Have a nice day. Thank you. And thank you for the lore. It was neat. I like that. I do like that that's like, yeah, if you fight while pregnant, the child will come out like stronger. I like that as a concept for the orcs. So good shit there. Okay. So yeah, you'll really need to check yes or no for my thing because my mind, oh, right, sorry. My mind goblins would stop me from ever doing anything if I didn't assume there was interest in it by default. Okay. Well then, Shin, you have yours here. Also on the same thing. Here goes the start of the campaign log I think I mentioned. This basically amounts to a session 0, so don't expect the tone here to carry forward. We're already a few sessions in, but writing these out takes up all our comment writing time, so we'll post it as a comment and see how it goes. If the idea falls flat, or if we can't get stuff related to combat through the YouTube filter, we'll go back to running it in private. Excuse me, but hopefully it can work like this. It did take a few sessions to brush the cobwebs off, though, so the first few are really just a warm-up. Of course, when I say session, I'm referring to my usual comment length, which still takes all week to write. Okay. We're switching over to the narrative format instead of doing the old dialogue format to make it easier to read. Alright, sure. The first thing Verity noticed was the swirling mass of pure chaos that roiled all around her. Objects, worlds, universes came into being, existing for a brief moment in her sight before melting away. This again? Verity asked. Chara, what did you do? Wasn't me, Chara said. I'm not even narrating it this time. Entropy? Why would I do something like this? Entropy replied. I'm a conqueror, not a destroyer. What's the point if there's nothing to rule? Okay, well, I don't like this, and I want to know what to do about it, Verity said. I can help with that, said the exposition fairy. Oh, exposition Chan, Entropy corrected. It seems that the three of you were out of combat ideas, so you decided to try playing a sandbox game, Exposition Chan continued. The only problem is you wanted to dive right into it without any preparation or world building at all, so now reality is all jacked up. That's the lamest campaign background I ever heard, Verity complained. What I meant to say is that an evil wizard or whatever has ascended to godhood by sacrificing this world to chaos, and the three of you were called here to restore order. I don't know, you're really putting me on the spot here. I don't remember agreeing to that. You agreed to it. But you agreed, and you'll remain trapped here until you've completed your mission, so I would suggest not wasting any more time. What do you mean I'm trapped here? I'm totally watching Shin type this line out for me right now. I could leave any time just by forgetting about this crap. The aspect of you that exists in this story is trapped here until she completes her mission. If you don't finish, she'll be stuck forever, and you'll feel really bad. Fine, whatever. What do I have to do? Do I have to hold your hand the whole way, or aren't you a goddess of nature? Sorry, when I'm pausing, I'm drinking from my teeth. Excuse me. They've got you there, Verity, Entropy said. A nature goddess should know how to de-chaos a world, I would think. Fine, whatever. You still never said who summoned us. All will be revealed in time. Haha, sure. You mean you don't actually know? I will forgive the impetuousness of youth. Now I will leave, for my part here is finished. Remember who you are, Simba. Verity. Whoever you are, hurry up and do the thing. And with that, Exposition Chan faded into nothingness, leaving the three hapless spirits to solve the mystery of whatever bullshit was going on here. Nice. Yeah, I mean, it seems fun. Why not? I think it's a neat little thing. So why not? Go for it. Yeah, the fighting while pregnant sounded so orc-like, I just had to do it. Yeah. Plus, keep in mind, Bloodhook is a warband leader, and just uses royal titles for the benefit of others. Yeah, I get that. That is neat. But yeah, cool. So thank you, Shin, for your comment. Yeah, why not? If you want to do stuff like that, that's fine. I think it could be interesting. Anyway. Timothy, also on last Vampire the Masquerade thing. Not the last one, actually. I think it was the one before the last one. I don't remember. Which we should be able to finish that soon. And then we can move on to the next thing. Anyway, Timothy says, hello, bros. New lore. Title, The Nameless Army. Renee POV. I don't know who that is. I'm about to meet them, I guess. In a small bathhouse, Renee, the were-tiger general of the Moon Valley Kingdom, was relaxing alone, eating fruit, when a messenger ran in, breaking the peace. Cool, we'll continue then? Nice. Messenger. General, urgent report. Renee, state your words. I hope this is worth it. An army has been spotted marching toward the capital. Who are they? They fly no banners, sir. Scouts could find nothing to identify them. Again? It might be connected to the groups that have been raiding our nearby towns. Most likely, sir. Reports say the raiding parties have been talking with the main army on the march. What are the numbers we're facing? Scouts say at least 300,000, but who knows how many are sitting and waiting as reinforcements. They are too well commended to be a random bandit army. They fight with focus. Damn it. Damn it all. I need this like I need an arrow to the crotch. Okay, I'm on it. Standing up from the water, splashing everywhere, the general quickly put his armor on and jogged out the door and down the road, his mind racing. I need to figure this out fast. The king and queen put their trust in me. I must not let them down. I would rather die than do that. After making his way to the main fort, the orders started flying. Renee. All crews move now. A large enemy is heading right for us. Put all 6 gates to the valley on lockdown and high alert. Prepare all siege engines, and someone get my horse so I can ride to gate 1. Knight. Yes, sir, right away, sir. Renee soon mounted his horse and went back out. Upon reaching gate 1, the northernmost one, he informed the guards of their orders. When a lookout said something. General, someone is coming. Just one, it seems. It was a blue cyclops. I will do the talking, Renee says. Cyclops. Hello. I require entry. This is the Moon Valley, is it not? Renee. State your name. Nyx. I am called Nyx. I mean no harm. Why do you come here, Nyx? King Cornell invited me to join his army. He healed my wounds. I wish to repay his kindness. Knight. It could be a spy from the Raiders General, looking to make us drop our guard. Renee. Ugh. I'll need to contact the king or queen to ask about this. I need to tell them about the attackers anyway. Get me a mirror now. And a spellcaster. Hold on one moment, Nyx. I must confirm your story with the king. It took 30 minutes to get a mage to the gatehouse. Renee sat in front of the mirror as a spell was put on it. Cornell and Veronica's room at the Dracolich dungeon was now visible. Luckily for Renee, Cornell had slept in and was still in bed. Renee. My king, please wake. Cornell. Huh? Who said that? Here, sir. The mirror. Ah, I see. It's you, Renee. What is it? I think I'm late for my match in the semifinals. Veronica. No need to worry, sweetheart. I sent word you would be there a bit later than the others so you could sleep. The queen said, walking into the room. Cornell. Amazing, my love. Thanking her with a kiss. Veronica. So, what do you need, Renee? We're all ears. Renee. Yes. There is a 300,000 strong army heading to the capital. No banners are being used. We don't know who is attacking us. Cornell and Veronica both looked at each other with a worried gaze. Veronica. Are we ready for this onslaught? Renee. Yes, my queen. I put everyone on high alert as soon as I could. Cornell. Great. I trust you can handle things until we return. The tournament should take no more than 2 days to finish. Any updates, be sure to tell us right away. Renee. I will, my king. I promise their heads will be on your dinner table when you return. That is what I like to hear, Renee. Make sure we have enough spices for such a big meal. Ha ha. One more thing, sir. There is a blue cyclops named Nyx saying you invited him here. Is that true? Yes, indeed. I met him at the tournament. It's nice he took my offer. Let him in, please, and give him what he needs. Given what is happening right now, Nyx might have a great chance to make a name for himself in battle. I know he'll make a good warrior. Be sure to give him Veronica and I's greetings when he comes in. Absolutely. Best of luck in today's match, my king, and good day, my queen. Same to you, Renee. Make the kingdom proud, said Veronica. To my last breath, always, as the spell was taken off the mirror. Sigh. Let Nyx in and find armor and weapons for him. That's all I got. Have a nice day. Interesting. A little bit of peril that's happening in the kingdom. In the Moon Valley. Interesting, interesting. Thank you for that. Renee is the general watching the kingdom while Cornell and Veronica are away. Yes, I've gathered that now. To be clear, though, it does turn into an actual play, so it won't be like a traditional narrative. Things happen because of dice. It goes pretty much like a pretty casual campaign would go. Sure. That's fine. Anyway, that's it, everybody. That's all the comments, so it's time for my ending spiel. And then you are free to leave. Oh, I just opened Steam by accident. That's fine. Okay. So, thank you for hanging out with us for this evening, this shorter episode. Hope that you enjoyed it nonetheless, and you had some ideas, and perhaps found some channels to look into more, as my Steam completely covers my screen. There it is. No, we don't need to update that, thank you. That'll take away my bandwidth. That's great. If you would like to help support our activities and also get some more exclusive content, or at least early access to content, you can become a table flipper by joining our Patreon here. I never really show the Patreon, that's true. Maybe I should really just, to our Patreon here. Thanks. Wow, thank you. There we go. Our Patreon here. And, being able to look at some editing streams when we're doing that, as well as the early access to Sunrise in Sin City, the Vampire the Masquerade campaign that we're starting. I'm going to start working on that tomorrow, after working on a couple other Project Astatine things. So do come by for that if you are able to and you're a table flipper. You can also get the same kind of links here on Ko-fi if you want to do it by becoming a member through there. So you get exactly the same kind of stuff. The only difference really is that if you want to listen to the things on the audio only version side, it's a SoundCloud link instead of just a direct link that you can download. So I don't know. Anyway, so a thank you goes out to our current table flippers, that being Draco Kraken, Rick, aka Unit Rico, and Steely up in Tier 4. Appreciate all that you give us so that we can continue to do things as we see fit for this channel, and we don't run ads or whatever, you know? And it's just more things that we can utilize, like music, because let me tell you, I will give you at least a little bit here for the editing side of the streams and stuff that I've been doing. It's been nice to utilize music that we have the license for and listen to it and find ways to make loops out of it and put it in good places. It's just been really nice, and I'm quite happy with that. So thank you. That's only because all of you have been able to support us financially. Very much appreciate it. And of course, a thank you goes to Crimson Rose in the Tier 2 for those $5 you give us every month. And of course, a thank you goes to our Tier 1 contributors. Links will be in down below, as always, if you wish to support us financially, either that way or on Ko-fi, which also does one-time support if you want to. Another way, financially, that you could support us is by going onto our TeePublic store and getting side profiles of us on whatever you want, as well as the new logo, as well as the old logo. All this kind of stuff is there for you to access if you wish. Another way to do this is to go over to our website, go to support us, and then go through all these things that I have talked about and will talk about to get to our custom dice that you can buy a set of for your tabletop role-playing game needs. And of course, another way to do it is using the link in our description and the show notes and such, and going over to Humble Bundle and utilizing it to buy whatever you want, whether it be a bundle, a choice bundle, a store direct purchase, whatever it is. It'll support us as well as Tabletop Alliance, who you can learn about more about their charity work that they do with tabletop means by following the link that's also in the description as well. And at the moment, I would recommend... Oh, Discworld is there. I hear good things about Discworld. The Beamdog and Owlcat RPG Masters bundle is also something that I would super recommend. Interesting, there's a Resident Evil bundle there. And then I could have sworn that in the books bundles here, we have Lost Works of Gygax. Oh, weird. Okay. if you're into Gygax. Power Rangers comics, that's a thing. The Star Trek Adventures bundle here is still going on. It's really cool. Oh, Patrick Rothfuss's King Killer Chronicles. I actually have never... I've read the first book, and I've wanted to... or at least I think I've read a lot of the first book. I've wanted to read the other ones. People talk about that a lot. That's also there. And Adventure Time comics. There you go. Terminator as well. Weird. Terminator one-shot? Oh, okay, so this is like an RPG thing, maybe. No, it's comics. Huh? Oh, yeah, it's comics. Okay. Terminator comics as well. Neat. A lot of good stuff out here. And then obviously the games bundles and software bundles. There's a lot of things. Ooh, detectives. Oh, Paradise Killer's there. Oh. Killer Frequency as well? Okay. I do own Darkside Detective. I don't recommend Call of Cthulhu. This video game version. I do recommend Darkside Detective, though, and Darkside Detective Fumble in the Dark. And I have wanted Paradise Killer and Killer Frequency I've seen. So, I don't know what the rest of these are, but yeah. Like, mystery games, so that's fun. But yeah, anything you get through that link will do the things, so get whatever you want if you wish. And of course, last but not least, if you do want to support us in a way that isn't financial, do subscribe. Like the videos when they come out, watch them, share them with your grandma, whatever the hell you want to do with them. I don't know. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not your dad. So, do whatever you want. Anyway, last time, I keep making it so that we do at least go for 2.5 hours whenever we do a shorter stream, regardless of content. So, there you go. It's still up to par. We still haven't gone under 2 hours. Anyway. Guess to be fair, Shin's also not so much of a Kate Icarus fan as a Verity fan. True. Do you like the gameplay, though? Kind of like how I'm also not so much a Undertale fan as a Chara fan. Fair. Anyway. Thank you again, for coming and hanging out. Do the YouTube things. Go check out the channels that we have looked at. Links are in the descriptions for each of those videos, so that, well, goodness, so that you can go and actually look at those videos themselves without us talking over them, and subscribe to those channels if you want more of their information or interesting content, and just check out more of their stuff. You know, do it. That's it. That's all. I'll see you later. For some of you, I might see you tomorrow. For others of you, we'll see you when we do the next stream. But yeah, I'm gonna maybe go to bed, and then wake up to edit. So, and I'm gonna drink more honey probably. Bye. Bye.